yourself a bit for the audience. Let's know more about you.
Of course, yeah. What's going on, everybody? I go by the name of Dub Souljah. I play reggae music, write and record reggae music, and promote all things reggae. We hail from the central coast of California, specifically Monterey Bay, Santa Cruz area. And yeah, man, we've been going strong with reggae music about 10 years. And about the last 5 years, I've had my band, and we've been playing everywhere and doing everything we can to get out of the small town vibes and, take it to the moon and see where we can go.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's been a fun ride. I wasn't before reggae music. I was into hip hop, and I used to make beats. I was in the Los Angeles area working with many MCs, writing beats, writing rhymes. But then reggae music came to me one day. I just attended a festival out of nowhere, and that was the vibe that connected with me more than any other type of music. And still, as you've heard on the song like this, I'm still a rapper, so at heart I still make the rhythms myself, and I write everything as if it was a rap song, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then I kind of tailor it for more singing vibes if I have to. But yeah, hip hop's in my heart and reggae is in my soul, and they just come together. And it's been a fun ride. I'm glad to be here and glad to be doing this reggae thing.
This is amazing. This is a very nice information to know. You were previously into hip hop, and then
Yeah.
you had this transition into reggae. That's extraordinary.
Yeah.
I truly, yeah. From your music, we can get the vibe. Because you are into reggae and all, but then there is still a little bit of hip hop inside it, which is really really cool. In it. So, and
Definitely.
when did you start? When did you actually start hip hop? When did you start rapping and singing? When was it?
Yeah. So I mean, I'll take it all the way back. My first instrument was the piano, 7 years old.
Oh,
Took
I see.
lessons and kind of just learned everything about theory and building chords and all that kind of stuff that comes with that, and reading sheet music,
Yeah,
doing recitals and stuff. And then
yeah.
later, when I was about 14 years old, I was gifted a guitar for Christmas. And right away, I gravitated towards that and I couldn't put it down. So I played that for a long time until I really started getting into hip hop. My favorite MC is Vinny Paz, Jedi Mind Tricks, and I just got into a lot of underground type of stuff. And then of course everybody's down with the old school
Yes,
Snoop and
true.
Tupac
Exactly.
and Dr. Dre and all of that. That's but all of that really influenced me to start making beats and writing rhymes. I just showed somebody a kind of a little song I made on my little 4-track cheap recorder, and they were like, "This is great. You got to keep doing that."
Yeah.
So I just kept building on it, and my chops got better. So around 2009 is when I started making beats and writing rhymes,
Oh,
connecting with other rappers, filming my own music videos on really cheap cameras, and just trying to really do it for real. And then I moved out to Hollywood to go to the Musician Institute. It was a cool place. I got to learn from people who were in the industry, in the music industry, behind the boards, the people making the records, playing drums on such and such album, or went on tour with Beyonce a couple years ago.
oh,
Those kind of people I was getting connected to, and I went there because I wanted to learn how to record myself better and how to market and do all that extra stuff that comes with being a independent musician. Um, and yeah, I put out like 2 EPs, a full-length album as a rapper. I went under the name Symphony Underground. And after a few years, I moved back home up here to up north, Northern California, and that's when I got introduced to reggae music. And right away it connected with me, and that kind of put me in that place. But for a long time, probably 10 years, I was writing rhymes, making beats, doing hip hop. But I was the what I was saying in my music wasn't really me. I listened to all these rappers and I got influenced by what they were singing about and what they were saying. And I
yeah,
kind of tried the same vibe, thinking I'm gonna act tough and I'm gonna do what they're talking about. And eventually I realized like that's not really me. I'm not really who that is. And I didn't want to put a fake persona out there. you know how it is in hip hop. You go out there and if you fake and if you say stuff on record that you can't back up and do in real life, like
Yeah.
no way. And I
Okay.
already knew it. Yeah.
Okay.
So after years of hip hop, turning to reggae music, and I mash up both. But yeah, it's cool. Been a good time.
Okay. So, but when did you get convinced, that you had to switch from hip hop to reggae music? When was that conviction for real? You felt it to your bone. You were like,
Yeah.
okay, this is it.
I attended a festival out here in California. It's the California Roots Music and Art Festival.
Okay.
Back in 2014 is the first year I went,
Yeah.
and I had never really been exposed to it before. My friends were telling me great, like this is good music. Like I had no idea that this existed really. But I started hearing some of the bands have like parts in their songs where the singer would do like a rapping style.
Yeah.
And then I started hearing dancehall and hearing
Yeah.
some dancehall records, and it was basically rap on dancehall beat, and I just thought I could do that. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. I produce beats already. I might as well make them dancehall style and throw a skank on top of it, and then do what I already do. And
Yeah.
it just worked, and people really liked it. The first stuff that I put out, people really enjoyed it. So first couple musicians I heard was there's this musician from Missouri called Skillinja, and I heard him on a couple tunes, and I was like, dang, that's rap. That's rap on a reggae record. Like I need to do that. And there's this guy out of the UK called Charlie P, and he was doing it over like sound system stuff, like Euro reggae sound system stuff. That
Yeah.
really turned me like that guy's rapping. Okay, I rap, I could do that, and then I did it, and people liked it, so I just kept going with it, and
Yeah.
it's evolved into what we're doing now, traveling, playing shows, and I never could have imagined, but yeah, that when I started to hear musicians rapping over reggae beats in their own style. Like it's not hip hop, but it's more reggae, but they had that hip hop flavor, and I just it that hit me right in my heart. Like I could do that. I know I can do it, and it's worked ever since.
That's it. I can imagine the challenges you were facing as a hip hop artist, let alone transit into a reggae artist. So, what's the challenges you've been facing? In fact, I want to know the challenges you faced while you were a hip hop artist and the challenges you're facing being a reggae artist. And can you be able to differentiate? What's the difference? Which is mine, which is
Yeah,
extreme, something like that.
definitely. So, in the hip hop world, it's really dominated by, I mean, for lack of a better way to put it, it's really dominated by one group of people.
Okay.
And coming in as a Latino into the rap was a little difficult because at first people didn't take me seriously. I didn't
Okay.
look like a rapper, I didn't act like a rapper. I was kind of a square in school, kind of just stuck to my studies. But when I started rapping and I put on this kind of different persona per se to do what I was doing, I could tell that I was getting a little bit of negative vibes from some people. Like, who do you think you are coming in here and trying to do what we do? Um, and it definitely gave me off-putting vibes a little bit. Like, man, then why am I here if I'm trying to, I just want to make art and I just want to make cool stuff and I want to do what
Yeah.
you guys are doing. And I was relatively good at rapping, or from what I was hearing from the people that actually were cool with what I was doing. So that was one thing, just kind of not really being the typical what you would think a rapper would look or sound like or be like. and
Okay.
then um and then just being an outsider because I moved down to Southern California again to pursue that, and I tried to connect with folks who already had established their circle of people. So I was trying to kind of weasel my way into their circle to be around folks, and it was just like, you're not in the club, locals only type of thing. So that was my biggest challenge as in hip hop. But once people started to see the beats I was making, and they were down with it, and they started to buy them from me, and they started to work with me because they really liked that aspect. But I'm also a good person to work with. I don't bring any negative vibes.
Yeah.
I'm just here to create music. I'm no drama. And they realized that they could count on me, and I wouldn't bring weird people over to the studio, anything like that. I don't do drugs, I don't drink. So I was very much like, just let's work, let's get work done.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then for reggae music, it's not it's sort of similar as far as being an outsider, because moving back home, same thing. Everybody in the Santa Cruz scene, they all grew up together, they went to high school together, and me coming from an outsider going, hey man, I want to try and play here. So I'll go to open mics and go to a neighborhood night at the local bar where they just have a house kid on the stage, and people just go
Yeah.
up and jam, and trying to get my way into there, and finally made friends, connected, and was able to branch out and do all of it. But I think the part that made it has been a little difficult for me is that, on top of the hip hop background, when I was a kid growing up, all I listened to was punk rock and heavy metal.
Yeah.
So I also bring that vibe to the reggae music that I create, and it definitely feels a little, especially for venues. Like, we're playing somewhere tomorrow, and they specifically said we don't want any of that rock and roll stuff. We want roots reggae. And I'm
Yeah.
like, really? Well, okay. And they specifically told me to leave out a certain number of songs that they heard us play at another show. And and I've actually had people walk out of our show because there was too much rock and roll.
Well,
And I thought, well, what were you expecting? Like flip flops and hula shirts and that kind of stuff. Like, that's not, we're everything. We do hip hop, we do reggae, we got rock and roll in our music. Like, we want to do everything. So I definitely feel like some of the more heavy roots bands don't don't mess with us because we're a little too rock. And then some of the bands that are way too rock don't mess with us either because we're more reggae than rock. So we're kind of in the middle, and we're
yeah.
trying to navigate. So that's been the biggest challenge, I think, for the reggae part. Yeah.
Yeah, this is you see all this you spoke about now. I never had idea about it, you're too rock and roll, you're too hip hopish, and it's kind of new, I'm just hearing it for the first time. Which means
Yeah.
it's kind of a struggle, It's kind of a struggle, but having to, when you create your music, you have to create for different audiences, So
Yeah.
this audience is gonna like this audience is not gonna like this. So you have to wow, it's kind of a hustle there. But
It
from what I see,
definitely is.
when I listen to your song, I actually noticed that there's a difference in every music. It doesn't sound the same. Some of them have this rock and roll name, and the other is like more of reggae on full spot, and then there is reggae and hip hop mixed together. So I see,
Yeah.
you are actually versatile. You're getting all the audiences, to choose what
Hmm.
they like and be on it, from your song. It's uh,
Yeah.
it's kind of creative, and I think it must be very exhausting on your side because you have to be creative. You have to think about what to create this time. Who is your target audience? Something
Yeah.
like that. How do you feel about it? You don't feel exhausted, or determination actually maybe.
I mean, it's not exhausting. I enjoy every minute of it, but I'll tell
Yeah,
you right now, after finishing the album
yeah,
and really exhausting all of the songs that I had in the bag for the last however many years,
yeah,
now I'm like, okay, I have to write something new.
yeah,
Dang, like, did I say everything that I wanted to say already, or where's the inspiration going to come from now? So
yeah,
right now I'm trying to find different things to do to get inspired. Like, after this, I'm heading out to the beach for a bonfire.
yeah,
So and that's definitely going to give me some creative emotions and vibes that I can come and create new. But trying to top what I did on the album, because
yeah,
putting the album out, I got so much good feedback from all of my peers in the
yeah,
local music scene, all of my friends telling me like, this is this is the way. Whatever you're doing is working, and keep doing it.
Keep
You're
doing
going
it.
to pass up all of us if you keep working what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
And I just think, and from the people I look up to, the bands I watch on stage who are telling me, like, you're doing a good job, keep at it. And now I'm having to go into it. I have to write new. So how am I going to make it sound like what people know me for, but also
Yeah.
fresh and new, and so not so new that it deviates from what I already sound like, but
Yeah.
new enough that it's fresh, and the people that have been listening so far like it and like the new direction, but it's not so far away that it doesn't sound like me anymore. So it is a bit of a struggle trying to figure out what I'm going to do next and how I'm going to make it sound right, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna work itself out, no
Yeah.
doubt.
Yeah. I believe you too. I believe that you can, and everything will come together as well. I believe that. So
Yeah.
at this stage, what do you intend to achieve? What is it you intend to achieve now in the record, in the reggae scene and all? What's the plan? What's the big plan you have?
So, I mean, the big plan really is to honestly make a comfortable living from doing what I love,
Okay.
making music,
Yeah.
impacting people,
Yeah.
connecting with people. My favorite thing is to see people in the crowd that I don't know actually singing the words that I wrote back to me as I'm playing the song to a crowd of people.
Yes.
That the first time that ever happened, I cried. I cried because I told those folks that came up to me afterwards. I said, "You're the little boy in me is like, my fulfilling my dream,
Yes.
and so yeah, I mean, if superstardom and super fame comes with all of this, man, bring it on. I'm down for that. But I just want to be able to make a difference in someone's life by the music I write, and I want to be able to make this art and live comfortably off of making it. And I want to be able to travel the world playing my music for people. And I mean, that's the goal there. Live comfortably off of being able to travel, play my
Yeah.
music, not have to report to some boss at a 9 to 5 job like I do right now. And you know,
That's
uh,
it.
and yeah, and then whatever may come. Honestly, I leave it up to God, to the universe, to just whatever is going to happen is going to happen. And what I'm doing now, I'm here now because I think it was meant to be. If things happen for a reason, then there's a reason I'm here right now. And if
Mm.
something doesn't happen, then that there's a reason for that too. So as long as I can continue doing music for the rest of my life in any capacity, I will be happy.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. That's good to know. So, who is your inspiration? Which music artist do you draw inspiration from? Who is it?
Definitely, definitely. So, uh, one of my biggest inspirations right now is well, my favorite MC, Vinny Paz from the group Jedi Mind Tricks, or Army of the Pharaohs.
Okay.
When I first heard his music, it really resonated with me because it was at a time when I was really going down the rabbit hole as far as conspiracy theories and
Yeah.
going all that way, and this rapper particularly had a lot of lyrics like that, and really exposing a lot of like government and
Yeah.
the shadow and Illuminati's and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I've since kind of cooled off on that, but I listen to that guy's music every single day, just because of how raw it is and how real he is as a person, and how spiritual he is. And I listen to that every day to get inspiration, songs that are pump you up and get you ready, and then songs that are slow and chill, that allow you to relax and just think about your life and think about your next move. Yeah, Paz is definitely a huge inspiration, for what I do, and my rapping and hip hop part of what I
Okay.
do. And then a big inspiration, and actually my favorite reggae musician, is a guy by the name of Josh Heinrichs. He's the first concert I ever saw of reggae of any kind, and
Okay.
like it blew me away, and that really was like the switch that flipped in my brain. Like, this is cool. I could do this, definitely. And the dude's just a regular guy, a regular family man providing for his family, and he's not putting any persona or any fake out there. He just makes music how he wants and for what he does, and just genuinely a regular old guy who just happens to be good at doing reggae. And I
Yeah,
imagine myself being that, just regular average person who happens to be really good at playing and singing music.
yeah,
So I definitely draw a big time inspiration from him, especially because all this music is about love and peace and real life situations. It's
yeah,
not about like some of these rappers out here rapping about driving a Benz or their mansion or whatever. Like, dude, how real is that? And are we watching that and trying to emulate that when really we should just be trying to do what's best for us? Reaching for the moon and the stars is awesome, but seeing so I get inspiration from people that are more real and genuine about who they are and how they live their lives, and promote that genuine persona so that we can kind of take from that and understand, like, doesn't have to be all flashy every time. But
exactly.
those two are my biggest inspirations right now.
Yes, exactly. Okay, I get it. This is good. I like the fact that you put real life as the goal, to music instead of the flashy and big words that don't make
Mhm.
sense, which is actually trending these days in hip hop music. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually a very good personality you have there. It's a very nice principle too. So, besides this, have you ever had an opportunity that, how do I say, an opportunity that presented itself to you that would maybe probably by now would have changed your music life around, maybe made a big deal out of it, but for some reason you passed on that opportunity and you regret it today? Have you ever had something like that?
Yes, definitely. I have had a few opportunities come to me that I had to say no to,
Yeah,
unfortunately. And I don't know what kind of impact it would have had, but my imagination takes me to some places where, man, I wish I could have said yes to that.
okay,
Yeah, there's been a couple of opportunities that have been presented to us to play at the local, really big venue in town, and just for scheduling reasons, things like that, we've had to say no to.
yeah,
And I just think, man, if we would have just played that, who knows who would have been in the crowd? Who
yeah,
knows who would have been backstage? Like, man, I really totally missed on this opportunity. But sometimes life happens, family
yeah,
matters occur, and not just for me, but my bandmates, they all have children and wives, and they have things going on for themselves too. So, sometimes you got to make those tough decisions
yeah,
for everybody. Um, and a few times in the past being offered opportunities to play with other bands,
yeah,
even before the reggae, when I was trying to play like punk rock music,
yeah,
being offered opportunities with a band that was going places in the local town, and thinking, man, those guys are going to go somewhere one day, I'm pretty sure of it. And I just thought, I can't right now. I got stuff going on. This is kind of where I'm going to. But to be fair, like, I pretty pretty probably missed an opportunity going there with those guys, because they're
mm,
probably somewhere way far up the chain now that I probably would have liked to be there. But I think every decision, every action we take is there's some kind of reasoning behind it. Universe has some kind of way of guiding you to where you're really supposed to go to. So I
yeah,
think right now, despite having to pass up opportunities in the past, for sure, right now, I'm pretty sure that where I'm at right now is where I'm supposed to be. So I don't regret any of those decisions to not take those opportunities or to not work with somebody. There's been a couple of times where I said no to stuff, and then at the end it turned out to be like a scam, or the person was just trying to be a snake. And some of those things I thought, ooh, I missed a moving train. So, but
I
yeah.
get you. I get you. Well. Well, there are still more opportunities ahead. I believe that. I'm very sure about that because your music is,
Definitely.
you keep releasing every day and you keep making new fans every day. So it's growing. It's not going backwards. It's always going forward. So I believe
Yes.
that everything is going to work out fine. So have you ever thought about giving up on music? Have you had that dark moment, that you feel like, nah, this ain't working for me no more? Have you ever had that moment?
Um I mean, there's many times where not to say that I felt like giving up, but
Yeah,
there's been a lot of times where I question my choices in
yeah,
life. And I see, some of my friends, some of my family members who are just happy doing what they're doing. They have their wife, they got their house, they got their kid, their
yeah,
their dog, their car in the driveway, and they're happy going their 9 to 5, and they don't, they're living a relatively not too stressful
yeah,
situation in their life, and I think, did I choose the right path, man? Because this is stressful. Like,
yeah,
it's good stress, and it's stress that pushes me to work harder and to be better. But sometimes I do think about, like, what would it be like if I wasn't a musician? Where would I be doing? What kind of career would I have? Where would
yeah,
I be working at? So I never want to quit music. I never once thought about quitting, but I do have that sometimes, that thought about, man, I like what I'm doing right now, but man, this is so much work. Like, why didn't I just opt to work a blue collar job and just come home, and chill? You know what I mean? Because I
yeah,
work a 9 to 5 every day, and then after work, I'm working until midnight or later on music, recording, writing, promoting, flyers, all of it. Everything that comes with being the musician, and
yeah,
sometimes the road gets a little tough, but I think that's just the universe testing you to see if you've got it.
yeah,
Because if you chicken out too soon, then maybe you really weren't built for it. And I think I'm built for it. So I push on through no matter what's going on. And I know that ahead is, the grass is always greener on the other side, as they say. So I know that eventually I'm going to get to that green pasture where I'm going to be free to roam. So it does cross my mind sometimes, like, why did I choose this? Am I
yeah,
crazy? And even some of my family members and friends have told me at one time or another, man, you're crazy. Are you sure this is what you want to do? And I say,
yeah.
of course, yes, times 1,000, yes, this is what I want to do.
Yeah, okay. This is good to know, actually. This is good to know. So, what's the inspiration behind your song like this and your other song that we spoke about previously? What's the
Oh yeah,
inspiration
praying for a
actually?
miracle.
Yes, what's the inspiration behind it?
Yeah. So, like this, the idea behind the song was, nobody does it like this. Nobody does it like we do.
I see.
And when we played it live before, for at shows, I say, there's many shows, there's all kinds of parties, there's all
Yeah,
kinds of gigs everywhere you go to, but nobody does it like we do it around here. And when I
exactly.
say that, the whole crowd goes wild, like,
Yeah,
yeah, right, nobody does it like us. So
yeah,
that's kind of why I wrote it, like, nobody does it like this, only we do it like this. And I think even my style of mashing up reggae, hip hop, rock, metal vibes, like all of that together, I'm like, I don't really hear too many people mashing all of those in one band. So that's the idea behind that. No one does it like we do.
yeah,
Um and then praying for a miracle, man, that it's been a really long time coming for me to write a song like that. As a teenager, I struggled a lot with depression, anxiety, panic attack,
yeah,
when I was in my formative years.
yeah,
And because of those things, it really impacted me mentally and physically. And for a good 10 years,
oh,
I was not in a good place mentally, and the whole time I was a musician trying to make it. And I think also, being in that state of mind in my earlier years really set me back, because I was afraid to go out. I was afraid to be with people. I was afraid of what they would think about me. And I was really self-conscious at that time as far as, you know, my weight and what I looked like. And a lot of different things were just a factor that totally messed with my mind. And this song has probably been rewritten hundreds of times. Uh, there's probably so many scratch lyrics and stuff that are in the notebooks of me wanting to get this stuff off of my chest.
From your chest, yeah.
Um, yeah, so I finally wrote the version that I thought fit best. And it's called Praying for a Miracle because at one time I really was on my knees, you know, praying to God for a miracle, like get me out of this. I don't want to be here anymore. And there's a lyric in the song that says, you know, messing with my mind, I don't want to die. I'm praying for a miracle. Like I never wanted to die, but if I wasn't here right now, it'd probably be better for everybody. That's kind of the thought behind that lyric particularly. But yeah, I'm really glad that I finally got that song off my chest, and now I
Yeah.
can. It helped me close a chapter of my life that I had with me for a very long time, and that was in here forever. And I finally got it off my chest, and I'm really glad that people are resonating with it and hearing it and telling me like, I feel your pain, I know what you've been through, or people telling me I'm going through it. Thank you. Your song really gives me hope.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's good.
definitely.
This is exactly what music is all about, you know, because once you share your experiences through it, it touches another person who is going through that similar experience. Maybe not right now, but in the future, someone might be going through exactly what you went through, and your
Yeah.
music is actually going to help the person move through. That's why real music that resonates with real life is actually better than the flashy songs and about driving big cars and all that's been released today. So the music
Yeah.
is actually very inspirational, and it's something that's going to resonate with people, not just today. In years to come, it's still going to resonate with them. They're still going to be able to relate with it, and so on and so forth. So this is very good about it. So can you talk to the audience, tell them about what to expect from you this year? What are we expecting a different release? Tell them everything about yourself and drop your Instagram handle, your social media, every social media handle, drop it out so they can
Sure.
follow you more.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah,
So yeah, man, we're the band is working really hard to go as far as we can, book as many
yeah,
gigs out of town, and just keep moving that way, connecting with other bands in the area and out of our area, so we can start traveling for real.
yeah,
We're saving up right now for a van so that we can actually pack everything and start hitting the road.
yeah,
So that's coming up. Probably next year is when we're really going to start traveling and going really far.
yeah,
Later this year, I plan to start recording with my band. More everything I've been doing is all me. I record every instrument. I sing everything. I do all of the studio production work. And finally, we're working on some stuff so that I can get my band to come in and record the live instruments now, so they can be more a part of what we do. Because
yeah,
I'm the one with the name Dub Souljah, and the band kind of just backs me. So they don't really have a lot of stake in what we do. They just, you
yes,
know, learn the songs, show up to the gig, play. We hang outside of the music too, but
yeah,
I want them to feel more a part of what we're doing and a part of the whole thing. So
yes,
to have them record with me and be on and write their stuff, write their lyrics to the second verse on the song, that's what we're going to be doing coming up. We I think the next song we got that we're going to be recording is a song called Higher. It's a weed song, so it's for all of the herb smokers out there. You know, we're gonna bless you guys with the new tune coming up later this year. Once we get all the time scheduled out correctly and everything, you know, we're doing everything DIY on a budget, so you know we got to do what we can to kind of wiggle our way through and make it sound professional like all the big dogs out there. So we're working on that right now to come up with a little EP at the end of the year with the whole band, probably 3 to 5 tracks,
yeah,
and then just keep on going. I write music all the time, and I'm always making new rhythms and trying to come up with ideas, get inspiration, and do what we do. So there's a lot of that coming up, new music, more gigs. So if you follow us on our Instagram handle, so we're dub_souljah, Souljah. Some people forget the H or they put soldier. So but that's our Instagram handle. That's where I'm at most of the time. That's where most of our followers are at. So you can definitely find all the info you need there. We got the Linktree link in our bio there too. So you click the Linktree, you get to all the platforms where our music is streaming at, our YouTube music videos, and everywhere else you can get our stuff at, our merch on our website. And then Facebook, Dub Souljah Music, YouTube, Dub Souljah Music. Go there to check out our music videos. A couple of them are filmed by me, like on a low budgety camera, but once we got a good budget, we started to get someone to film us some really good videos. So we got some really good content up there. And then we just joined the new Threads app under the same dub_Souljah. So follow us there. On Twitter, we're Souljah Dub. And then everywhere you get your songs at, everywhere you stream your tunes, Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, Tidal, all of those places, we are there. It's actually really cool to see the analytics and see that people outside of the country are playing our songs
Yeah.
and Shazamming and stuff like that. It's really cool to see all that kind of stuff. So yeah, just stay tuned on our social medias because that's where we give all of our announcements. Our website is dubsoljahmusic.com. You can go there to check our show schedules, where we're going to be at if you're in the area around where we are. If not, we're coming to a city near you very soon. We're working on all of it, the logistics of traveling and finally really getting our music out there in front of a wider audience. And I just want to shout out to all the fans, new and old, and everybody that has been rocking with us ever since. From the bottom of my heart, it makes me want to tear up every single time that I talk about it because
Yeah.
it's something that I've been dreaming about for a really long time, having people actually attend my concerts and listen to what I have to say. It's amazing. So I just thank you to everybody and a big time shout out to my brothers in my band. I could not be doing this without them. They